Super Rugby Power Rankings, folks, with just 2 rounds to go of the regular season. How are the teams looking in terms of their current form? We already have 2 teams who are mathematically out, but that doesn't change how the Power Rankings go. Those teams will still remain, but we'll chuck them up. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how you think teams are tracking. 11th spot and down a massive 2 spots. Well, 2 spots not that massive, but down is the Western Force. That's worse than their spot on the table. On the table, they're 9th, but as I said, they are mathematically out. They can't qualify for the playoffs this year, which has been quite the drop because they started the season all right. But since they had the bye, which they really needed to kind of prep themselves to get some points, maybe scrape through with some points over here in New Zealand. Since the bye, it's been a home draw with the Canes and then 4 losses on the trot, none of which have been close games. They just got beaten at home by, admittedly in Lautoka, which is a tough place to go, but by the bottom side, the Drua, pretty handily. So, sadly for the Force, down 2 spots. The Landers, who are the actual bottom team on the table now, they are also towards the bottom end of our power rankings. They're the same as they were last week. They are in 10th. They've had, I think, 1 win in their last, 9 games? I mean, they did get close to the Canes. They could have won that game against the Canes, which is at least one thing positive. It's not all been blowouts. The Tars I have in 9th. The Tars are down 1 spot with their home loss to the Crusaders. They're another one that kind of like the Force. You can kind of point to a spot in their season where since then, it's not been going that well, and for them it's that win over the Chiefs. They beat like one of the title favourite sides at home and have lost all 4 games since. So yeah, it's not mathematically over for the Tars, but it is pretty unlikely. And then believe it or not, the Drua are actually, I think, in slightly better form than some of the sides around them. They still can't win on the road, but if I'm not mistaken, their last few results are a win, a loss, followed by a win. That's more than what we can say for most of these other teams. So the start of the season's been pretty bad. They're in 10th on the actual table, but the recent form-wise is a little bit better. What can I say? Then we've got the Blues. The Blues are in the 7th spot on the table. I've got them 7th spot on the power rankings, so I've got them down 1 on the power rankings with their loss to Moana Pacifica. Should I call that one a must-win game? Was it a must-win game? The Blues still might limp into the playoffs. Depending on how other results go, the destiny is not in their own hands. The Blues have got the bye and then a game against the Tars. The Tars are awful on the road. So one might assume the Blues can pick up 4 points to potentially sneak into the bottom of the playoffs. I don't know if they deserve it this year. No, they don't deserve it this year. But it's still not over. But yeah, they're down on the power rankings. They've had 2 wins in their last 5. Then there's Moana Pacifica, who I have got up on the power rankings, up into 6th, because their recent form is genuinely pretty good. I think they've won 3 in a row now. And with that clutch win over the Blues, they are in the playoff spots for now. So this matches their table spot. They do have 2 tough away games against the Chiefs and the Canes to come. But bro, they've taken some big scalps this year, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility that the Moana pick up at least 1 more win that they need to hold off the Blues for that qualifying spot from teams based in Auckland. Then I got the Reds. The Reds I have down 1 spot, which is lower than their spot on the table. They lost to the Brumbies. Their recent record is also kind of mixed. Win-loss in their last 4. So I wouldn't say they're coming into the playoff period in a real hot reign of form, but they will still be a threat to whoever draws them in the initial playoffs. And then there's the Canes, who I do feel like are coming right at this right time. Even if they kind of struggled a wee bit against the Landers, they had enough chances to win that game, probably more than once. They didn't play their best rugby and still managed to get a win. So up 1 on the power rankings, 3 wins in a row, plus a draw over in Perth. Recent form is looking a bit better. How do we rank the top 3? Crusaders are in 3rd, which might seem low. But their most recent 3 games is a bye, which for the power rankings I give them a 0. So it's not up and it's not down. But there are other teams who are getting points, so it does cause them potentially lag behind. But it all evens out at the end of the season. A loss and a win. So bye, loss, win is probably why they're third, not higher on the power rankings. Then we got the Chiefs, which again may not seem the most intuitive, but they've also just had the bye and they've won 3 of their last 5. Whereas the Brumbies, who we got first in the power rankings, are I think 6 from their last 7, including 3 in a row. The Brumbies are in very good form. The Brumbies have played 1 more game. So the Chiefs have just had a bye. The Crusaders have had a recent bye. That bye will catch up with the Brumbies this very coming round. So the Brumbies will score a fat 0 for my power rankings this week. I would assume if the Chiefs and the Crusaders win, the Brumbies will drop to third on the power rankings. But for week 14, there's no denying the Brumbies are in hella good form, and that's good for Aussie Rugby. And we'll see how many of their guys get selected for the Wallabies in not too long. But Super Rugby has still got a couple of weeks to go. You let us know your thoughts. Who are the form sides? Can you see any sides from 4th through 6th threatening sides 1 through 3 as we head into the playoffs? Do you think Moana or the Blues or potentially an outsider takes that 6th spot? You guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.